Welcome to Boston. It's Sugar Sean Price, and I'm here at the site of what could go down in history as one of the most dangerous and outlandish matches ever, Scramble Cage Melee. As you can see, they're taking the cage down from the truck now, but let's get a talk with Phil and Marcos, two of the combatants in this match. Done. Marcos, how you doing, guys?
Taking the cage down.
I see that. You guys are entered in this match. I mean, I know you've been with us for 2 years. What are you thinking about going in a match this dangerous?
Look, we're Don and Marcos, and we're rocking like docking. And if you think that we're not willing to put our bodies on the line to get off ring crew, you got another thing coming. In fact, we have no fear. Come on, Don.
What the hell are they doing? What are you guys doing? Get down from there. You insane? Guys, it's not. Come on.
Jack Evans, Altar Boy Luke, the Outcast Killers, Marvin Whitmer, Logan DeVito. Tonight, we're gonna outfly everybody.
And in Boston, we're not gonna take it anymore.
Jimmy Reyes. Good to have you back. How was the trip to Ghana, at my palace?
Great.
Did the girls treat you right? Did they rub you down in oils and soaps?
Yes.
And are you ready for action tonight?
Oh, I'm ready for it. I got the Rave clash. It's gonna be great.
Huh? Yo, where's Diablo? We gotta get ready for this
I sent
match.
him to go finish up the bab that I had running. What do you mean, where is he at? He knows where he is. I sent him to do an errand.
But we gotta get ready for this match.
I thought you spoke to him about the match. You guys know what you have to do out there. I don't care what you do. Just make sure the match is won, all right? Because I have bigger, better things.
This not a match. We're wrestlers. You're putting us in a cage 15 feet up. I gotta climb the top.
Let me tell you something, boy. As far as I'm concerned, I could care less if you got on the top of the cage and broke your neck. You guys right now are nothing compared to my champion, my winner, Jimmy Rave and the Rave Clash, huh?
Kidding me?
You know what? Did you just say something back to me?
No.
Did you just say something? Get down.
No.
Get down, huh? Are you kidding me? As far as I'm concerned, if you ever talk to me like that again, I will send your ass back to ring crew. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yeah, no, you're clear.
Let's go, Jimmy.
2004. I'm Jimmy Bauer, joined by Mark Nulty. What a show we have here tonight. Kicking it off with Alex Shelley of Generation Next against Jay Lethal. And there's a slap instead of a handshake.
Alex Shelley kind of picks and chooses where he wants to follow the code of honor. But right now, Jay Lethal helping him find the code. Chops across the chest, crisscross off the ropes. Hard shot by Lethal, running back elbow by Lethal, and a flying leg lariat by Lethal into the arm drag and locks up the arm.
Beautifully done in the early going by Jay Lethal. He wants that win against Alex Shelley. He needs that win against Alex Shelley. And look at Shelley grabbing the ear to pull Lethal back to the corner.
Shelley, of course, is a contender for every championship in ROH. Clothesline across the back of the knee by Shelley. Shelley, the self-proclaimed talent on loan from God, contender for every title in ROH, including the Pure Wrestling title. Shelley, because he talks so much, really is on the spot in every match he takes to try to back up the chatter. Now he's going to flip Lethal over the ropes, catches Lethal, catapults him across the top rope.
And let's see if Shelley can follow up. He's looking at Lethal. And he soars, but nobody's home.
Alex Shelley telegraphed that. Lethal's looking for it. Here comes Lethal!
And right right now, Mark, Lethal might have scored big with that tope, but he's going to watch out for Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, and Jack Evans at ringside. Lethal wants to get this one in the ring.
And Lethal wisely does just that. As you mentioned, you have Generation Next, the group that Shelley has taken control of, surrounding the ringside area. And as we have seen, Code of Honor notwithstanding, they are not above. Dragon screw leg whip now by Shelley. Shelley drop kick into the knee. Drop kick across the face by Shelley. Alex Shelley starting to turn it up a little bit. And Generation Next, even if they don't interfere, Jimmy, is always a distraction at ringside. And Code of Honor notwithstanding, they are not above interfering in the match.
They will take advantage of any opportunity. They were formed to take all the spots here in ROH, the top spots. And in order to do that, they have to win matches like this. Now, Jay Lethal has an interesting history lately. Of course, a lot of you recognize him as Hydro from Special K. After a talk from ROH World Champion Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal decided to get serious, get off the drugs, do something with his career. And since then, he has looked very impressive, but he has lost twice to Alex Shelley, including the very last show. And then we got a pinning combination. Todd Sinclair with a 2 count. Shelley right back to the leg. But Jay Lethal, he thought that he had the 4-corner survival one on the last show, testing the limits. In fact, he almost beat the legendary 2 Colt Scorpio. But in the end, Alex Shelley gained another pinfall victory over him. Lethal, after the match, challenging Shelley to a singles match, and that's exactly what we're witnessing right here.
And keep in mind, Jimmy, on May 22nd, Alex Shelley was so impressed with Jay Lethal, then of course known as Hydro, that he offered Jay Lethal a spot in Generation Next. Hydro turned that down. And as you mentioned, Hydro, now a man on his own. He did not accept the invitation to join Generation Next, didn't want to be part of Alex Shelley's little group, and certainly be subordinate to Alex Shelley, and now he doesn't have Special K to watch his back. He's a man on his own, and there's some growing pains in this.
Well, it should also be noted that Generation Next continued to try to recruit Jay Lethal, and finally the last show, August 7th, Alex Shelley gave Lethal the ultimatum to join Generation Next, and Lethal said he'd rather earn things. He doesn't want to take shortcuts anymore. And I tell you what, Mark, I greatly respect that.
I do too. Now he's going to drop that knee right across the turnbuckle. And a lot of the fans that have been in the ring know that turnbuckle is a mat covering a metal railing. So imagine getting dropped across a steel grate, and that's what that's going to feel like.
In fact, that's the one part of the ring that the canvas is covering that has absolutely no padding at all. That is the most dangerous part of the ring, and Lethal's knee was just draped across it.
Alex Shelley, Jimmy, is it just me, or is he especially vicious tonight?
Well, he doesn't like being in the opening match. He doesn't like Jay Lethal after Lethal turned down Generation Next, and he definitely has something to prove here.
And isn't it interesting that Generation Next is out here to support Shelley in this entire match? Misses the Enzuguri does Lethal.
I think Generation Next is trying to make some sort of statement, and Lethal has to start mounting some offense soon.
Well, right now he can't stand. Everything that he's going to have to do, he's going to have to do from some type of a supine position. We saw the outside cradle earlier by Lethal, as he's going to have a hard time maintaining any type of a base. And right now he's just going to be setting...
Hold on, he's got him down! Oh, that was close, Mark.
Notice Shelley brought him to the vertical base there, allowing it. Now Shelley's going to go right into... Oh, goodness, a half crab grapevine combination.
And that right there neutralizes Lethal from being able to really move. He's going to really have to struggle to get to the ropes here.
And that's a horrible thing Shelley just... I don't know if you noticed that or not, but Shelley, the ultimate act of humiliation, just blew his nose on Jay Lethal.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, this is... I think Shelley is upset that Lethal didn't join. I think he may be trying to send a message to any other wrestler that if you're asked to join Generation Next and you refuse, they may be trying to cripple you.
You're 100% right about that. but you know that Jay Lethal has talent. When the ROH World Champion Samoa Joe recognizes it, a man who has held that belt for a year and a half, that's a huge compliment right there. Now let's see if Jay Lethal can do it on his own. Let's see if he can do it without the shortcuts. And he's fighting back right now. He's showing some heart. And look at that, right to the eyes with the bootlace.
Well, Alex Shelley right now just has Jay Lethal at his complete mercy. He's taken out the knee, and now he's going to bring Lethal up again, and this time Lethal hits the enziguri to the back of the head.
And Shelley is staggered, and he's got him hooked. There's that dragon suplex.
That's what he almost beat Two Colt Scorpio with.
Let's see if he can make the cover. He's trying to inch his way over. He's almost there.
Lethal literally crawling over to get the cover. If Shelley had not done so much damage to that knee, then Lethal would have been able to follow up quicker. Shelley gonna go behind again.
Well, Lethal just got knocked down with that back elbow, but he's up. And that's a knee across the rib cage into a textbook back suplex.
Greco-Roman backdrop by Jay Lethal, and he plants him. Now both men are down, but again, it's a huge advantage to have both your legs, and Jay Lethal still is going to have a hard time coming up to any kind of a vertical base. Balance is so critical for a professional wrestler, and right now Jay Lethal has none.
Let's see what Lethal, no, Shelley has so many reversals. Dragon screw.
Interesting position for that move. Now Shelley really, I know he's trying to send a message here, but he really needs to start working about putting, look at that, a standing figure four leg lock.
Lethal has to watch the shoulders there.
That's something that you don't see very often. A standing reverse figure four leg lock.
Well, Alex Shelley, he is the master of those innovative moves we saw before with that clothesline onto the knee. And the thing about him, it's not just innovation for the sake of innovation. All of those submissions and high impact moves are devastating and effective.
No, that's why we see most people applying the figure four from the supine position. You're putting your body at too much risk when you're standing up. It gives your opponent too many openings. Now he's going to bring, I don't know if I agree with bringing Lethal up to the top rope here.
Well, Lethal can't fly, Mark.
If you've got a man that can't stand right now, you should keep him on the ground, keep working over that knee. You're helping Lethal by putting him up on the top rope.
And it did backfire on Shelley. He is down prone on the mat. Lethal likes that diving headbutt, and there it is, it connects.
Lethal's got to go for the cover right here, but I think he dazed himself. He's going to drape that arm over the shoulders. You're not going to beat Shelley that way.
You definitely have to hook a leg.
Security, now get the job done.
Now well, give Lethal credit. That knee has got to be in excruciating pain, but still manages to come to his feet. Drops the elbow across the chest.
Lethal is definitely hobbling. Look at that, he's basically on one leg. This might be a desperation move right here.
We're taking way too long.
It's tough to climb those ropes on one leg, and he paid the price.
Jay Lethal, usually when you see him, he's so fluid getting to the top rope. And Jimmy, that's really the key for any of your top rope maneuvers, is how quickly you can mount the top rope.
And now, did you see that insulting slap by Alex Shelley? That's unnecessary.
Alex Shelley trying to send a message. It's going to come off the top rope, driving the shin across the thigh.
And look at Lethal, he is rolling around in pain. That leg is absolutely useless right now.
I think the referee may be considering stopping this match to keep Jay Lethal from being permanently injured.
And you still have Jack Evans, Roderick Strong, and Austin Aries on the outside. Shelley once again pulling Lethal up by the ears. Another shin breaker. And Lethal might be getting a little worn down as this match is beginning to get a little on the long side. Oh my God, Mark.
Just a double stomp in the back of the knee.
That might have just snapped the knee. And this could be it right here.
Now it looks like he's going to step into the figure four leg lock. He's got it hooked. This is how you tear cartilage. When you hear about athletes having to go under the knife, when you hear athletes getting their ACLs torn out, This is the kind of move that will do that to a wrestler.
And that's Lethal's only chance was to reach the ropes. Shelley did have him towards that side of the ring. He needed to get him more towards the center of the ring.
I don't think he expected Lethal to even challenge that move. I thought he expected Lethal just to tap out. I think he's a little bit surprised Lethal wants to continue.
He was going for another shin breaker there. Lethal though blocked it. Lethal on one leg, trying to power bomb. Oh, Shelley slips through, and he rolls up Lethal. No, now he comes up with the leg and an SDF.
I don't know if Lethal's going to get to the ropes here.
He's close, caught Sinclair right there to see if Lethal wants to tap. Lethal could also pass out from the pain. A very effective move on the knee, and Lethal does indeed reach the ropes.
I'm a little surprised. Jay Lethal's got a great future in professional wrestling. At some point, he needs to be thinking about that future and not just this match. He could be suffering permanent ligament damage. His knee and his leg can never be right. He's going to go for another dragon suplex. Shelley with the block. Shelley with the go behind. Back cradle. Punch the tights and gets him.
He had the tights. I can't believe after all that, Alex Shelley needed to pull the tights to defeat Jay Lethal. And Lethal's still going to be a frustrated man as Generation Next continues to climb the card.
Tonight, Braintree, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
The first ever Scramble Cage Melee.
Can't have one of these without the Carnage Crew.
There's been 2 more Scramble Cages, all right, bro. And nobody knows more about the Scramble Cage than Logan DeVito.
Carnage Crew.
The violence, like no other, but that's right up our alley.
Oh, yeah, baby.
10 times the pay for the winner.
That's up my alley, too, brother.
A couple white trash folk like us can use that, right, baby?
Oh, yeah, bro.
You think we're not willing to climb that cage and die to get to the next level, to get that payday? What have we done every night in Ring of Honor? We put our asses on the line. We beat people's asses.
Love people.
Tonight, just another day at the office, kid, but it's a little bit more dangerous. 12 sons of bitches in that cage, but none of them willing to die like Logan DeVito.
No way, brother. But I'll tell you what, tonight you will see blood. You will see violence.
Every night, baby.
You will see a little bit of high flying, because I guess that's what this match is about.
That's what it's about. It's the only way to get.
But to us, it's about the money and about kicking everybody's ass. Come on, baby. We'll get him tonight. Love this cage.
There we go!
time for a bonus attraction now. We have Angel Dust, a Special K against the returning Jimmy Rave, the man that Prince Nana says has mastered the Rave Clash. I think I've seen that move somewhere before though, Mark Nulty.
No points for originality for Jimmy Rave. So Jimmy Rave is on Special K, of course, not adhering to the code of honor.
They have been getting more serious lately. They haven't been messing around with the drugs before their matches. They want to break that losing streak, but they're still not respecting the code of honor. Of course, on the outside for Special K there, you have Cloudy, Cheech, I can't quite see who else, and on the outside,
Dopey.
On the outside of the embassy, you got the Outcast Killers and Prince Nana. And we're underway. Real quick though, Mark, I hate to take attention away from this match, but I do have to report some news. Nice roll through by Jimmy Rave though, going right into the cross space early in this one.
This could be over in a hurry.
And Angel Dust reaches the ropes. Now, as you saw on the last show, there was that riot-like fight, totally raging out of control after the Briscoes versus Loki and Homicide match. It raged out of control all through intermission, ended up in the parking lot, and as a result, fines have been administered. Now, the wrestlers were given a choice. They were given a large fine, or they could take a suspension. Loki decided to take the suspension, saying that he's not going to give ROH any money. Julius and Homicide showed up with cash money and paid both of their fines. The Briscoes, Jay and Mark, they didn't have the money to pay the fines. They were so large, so they are out of action. They are on the suspended list. And Samoa Joe, the world champion, he opted to pay the fine, so he will be in action tonight. He did not want to miss any shows. So that is how that situation was dealt with.
So basically, the world champion is working for free tonight.
Well, he'll be working for free for tonight and a couple of more shows past that.
Well, I think it's a good decision by ROH, if I can comment on that, Jimmy. We want the action to be heated in the ring. We want excitement in the ring. We want it to be intense in the ring. But that's the operative term there is in the ring. And that's where it needs to stay. Anytime you get in a situation where you get among the fans, it's dangerous. Anytime you get out in the parking lot, it's dangerous. I think ROH gives enough opportunities, and holy cow, ask the Second City Saints and Whitmer and Mop if they get enough opportunities to settle a feud. But it's got to be in the ring. And I think it's a great message to send that this will not be tolerated in ROH.
On top of that, we expect our athletes to compete at a level of professionalism. And what we saw the last show at Testing the Limit was unprofessional. There's no other way to describe it, and that is why the fines were administered. And look at that by Angel Dust. Beautiful double stomp to the head of Jimmy Rave.
There's something in Angel Dust's eyes tonight that I haven't seen in a while. Well, number one, pupils, and number two, intensity.
Special K is desperate to end that losing streak. They've been on it since March 13th at our best when they lost the Scramble cage match to the Carnage Crew. And right now, Angel Dust is taking it to the centerpiece of the embassy, Jimmy Rave.
I don't know what Jimmy Rave expected tonight. I don't think he expected an opponent as focused and as intense as Angel Dust is.
And Rave is up and over. This would definitely be an upset on our hands right here.
Let me ask you this. When's the last time you saw Jimmy Rave get out-quicked in the ring? And right now, that's what Angel Dust is doing. He's taking the match to Jimmy Rave, and he's quicker than Jimmy Rave, but I think he just injured himself.
And Jimmy Rave is in pain. Oman Tortuga telling him to get it together. And Angel Dust just scored a 2 count right there.
And that could have been a 3. I really think he hurt his shin there on that last move, and it kept him from getting over for that cover as quickly as he wanted to. Now the quickness of Jimmy Rave on display.
And he nails that suplex right there. And there's that cockiness of Jimmy Rave. Prince Nana actually told me before the show, and a climbing shining wizard there, wow. And Jimmy Rave is really feeling his stride right there. Look at that.
Well, Jimmy Rave, one of the quickest athletes in all of professional wrestling. And I think he felt a little bit showed up because he was getting beat to the punch earlier in this match by Angel Dust.
We are definitely seeing a newfound confidence in Jimmy Rave too. As I was saying before, Prince Nana told me that the reason he didn't see Jimmy Rave on the last show is because he was at one of his palaces in West Ghana. He was living the life of luxury there. Prince Nana was instilling that confidence in Jimmy Rave. Rave, showing him the kind of lifestyle he can lead. And now we're seeing that confidence in the ring and some aggressiveness right there with those fists.
You ever been to Prince Nana's palace?
No, I can't say that I have. I've never been invited.
Jimmy Rave with a diving leg drop hooks the far leg.
I heard that Jimmy Rave was rubbed down by one of Prince Nana's female servants, one after another there. He was being fed grapes.
Twisting suplex as we, thank God, get back to the action.
Ref Hansen with just a 2 count.
Settle down there, Jimmy.
Hey, I want to check out one of Prince Nana's palaces.
This is ROH Wrestling, not Cinemax.
The funny part, too, is that Oman, Tortuga, and Diablo, Santiago, the Outcast Killers, they're wondering when they're going to get their chance to visit the palaces. But so far, Prince Nana has just treated them like their servants, like his own servants. In fact, he put them in Scramble Cage Melee tonight so that they could win it for the embassy. He does not care about their safety. And there goes...
Look at Angel Dust! Overshoots him!
He was going for that springboard blockbuster and he missed. Heads up there by Jimmy Rave, now connected with the powerbomb.
Jimmy Rave so incredibly quick. Now the arrogance of Jimmy Rave on display as he's going to let Angel Dust roll to the ring and catch his breath. He's getting consulted. He's consulting with the other members of Special K.
I don't think they're going to have any good advice for him.
I'm about to say, there's a brain trust. But Jimmy Rave, I'm a little surprised to see him lose his focus, especially when you consider how dangerous Angel Dust was early in this match and how well Angel Dust is wrestling.
I think Jimmy Rave figured he'd be in the locker room by now. Angel Dust really giving him a run for his money.
Jimmy Rave looks nonchalant here as he's going to drive, or he's going to throw rather, Angel Dust into the railings.
Now he's telling the fans to move here. Definitely seen a more aggressive and confident Jimmy Rave here. And there's Prince Nana. He's telling the fans to move. Let's see what Jimmy Rave has in mind here.
I don't know, but it's taken him forever to get into it.
Oh, and look at that. He thinks he outsmarted everybody. And he sure didn't outsmart Angel Dust.
I hate to sound like a broken record, Jimmy, but this is when you have the advantage, press the advantage.
And Prince Nana's irate.
Yeah, well, Prince Nana needs to advise his man when you have an advantage, get him in the ring and pin him.
Maybe Jimmy Rave got one rub down too many at the palace.
Well, right now he's getting rubbed down, that's for sure.
A more serious Angel Dust now, taking it to Jimmy Rave. We could have an upset on our hands right here in Boston.
When's the last time you saw Angel Dust wrestle this well?
Well, that's what happens when you get clean. Angel Dust was the one that was power-driven off the top of that scramble cage through 2 tables. You better believe he's never going to forget that. And there's another of those double foot stomps right to the back of the head of Jimmy Rave.
Angel Dust, again, having problems with that right knee and shin. And that's the second time he's hit that move, and that's the second time he's jammed his own shin.
Can Special K get back on the winning streak?
Well, it'd be a streak of 1, but yeah, can he win this match?
And look at that! What a flurry of knees and kicks!
Sitting drop kick into the supine position by Angel Dust, but Angel Dust has got to be quicker making these covers, Jim.
And this Boston crowd is behind the Special K member! Oh, just a 2 count by Ref Hansen.
I don't think this is just getting behind the underdog either, Jimmy. I think they're appreciating how well Angel Dust is wrestling here, and they're showing him the respect for the effort.
I'm appreciating it myself, and he stopped with that super kick.
Line charges against Jimmy Rave are just such a bad idea. He's so incredibly quick.
And there's a beautiful combination. This could be it. Wow!
2 months ago, Angel Dust does not kick out of that.
And look at the frustration on the face of Jimmy Rave.
Jimmy Rave really took control from the middle part of the match. Took way too long on the outside of the ring, but the midpoint of that match match on has been Jimmy Reyes. Still has not been able to put Angel Dust away.
I think he's calling for it here. All right, look at that. Angel Dust blocks it with a knee to the head. Electric chair scores big. Cover.
Oh, I thought we just had the upset.
What's Prince Nana doing on the mic? Angel Dust is being distracted by this. Don't be distracted. It's a trap. Angel Dust losing his focus. Why is Prince Nana on the mic in the middle of a match? And with this kid could be going for that Rave clash. No, roll up. Oh, Shining Wizard. And there's the Rave clash.
How original.
Jimmy Rave, he was a student of AJ Styles. He was the protege of AJ Styles. And now he has stolen AJ Styles' move. And not only that, but he claims that he invented it. Jimmy Rave, though, posts a big victory here for the embassy. Gentlemen, it's time for a grudge match, and we're not going to see a handshake here as Generation Next, Roderick Strong, he takes on Ace Steel of the Second City Saints, and this is a result of what happened at Chicago at Death Before Dishonor, Part 2.
One of the greatest matches I think I've ever seen, and Jimmy, you know me, I'm not a fan of hardcore wrestling, and I've never tried to hide that fact. But I've got to give a lot of credit to Whipper and Moth in that Chicago street fight against Ace Steel, who we're seeing in the ring right now in the blue tights, and his partner, of course, CM Punk. One of the most incredible brawls we've ever seen that was ruined by Generation Next jumping into the ring and attacking the Second City Saints afterwards. Now, on the last show, we saw Ace Steel try to get his hands on Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley looked like Carl Lewis floating around the ring. But now Roderick Strong is matched up one-on-one with Ace Steel.
This is going to be Ace Steel's first chance to really get some revenge, and it's against the hardest hitter of Generation Next. You made mention of that Chicago street fight. Absolutely unbelievable. Who will ever forget the barbed wire, the fans throwing their chairs into the ring? As there you see Jack Evans at ringside, and it should be noted that Jack Evans is there along with Alex Shelley and Austin Aries, whereas CM Punk and Colt Cabana, the Second City Saints, still in the locker room. I went off on a little tangent there though, Mark, but as I was saying, that Chicago street fight, absolutely unbelievable. the Second City Saints winning the feud over Dan Moff and BJ Whitmer in that bloody battle, and afterwards the victory celebration was ruined. Generation Next jumping the Second City Saints. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat trying to make the save, only to get tied to the ropes, and he watched the attack. And now it's time for the Second City Saints to get some revenge.
Well, and this is one of the things that makes Ring of Honor so special, is when there are feuds that need to be settled, Ring of Honor puts people in a position to settle the feuds. The Chicago street fight that you mentioned, I don't have a vote for match of the year like you do, Jimmy, but if I did, that'd be real high up there. Right now, Ace Steel working over the self-proclaimed Messiah, the backbreaker, Roderick Strong. And Ace Steel, the Second City Saints, want Generation Next. For all their mouth, Generation Next seems to be at their best when they have the odds on their side. And I don't think you were off on a tangent earlier. I think anytime Generation Next is involved, I think you do need to do a head count at ringside.
And you did mention the hardcore action. And by the way, Mark, I will talk to people about getting you a vote for match of the year. But we talk about hardcore action. Mick Foley, the hardcore icon, is on his way to Ring of Honor on September 11th, the very next show, Glory by Honor 3. And Generation Next has said that they will make their reputation at Foley's expense. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on at Glory by Honor 3.
I had a chance to have dinner with Mick Foley in Fayetteville, North Carolina a few weeks back. And Mick is so excited about Ring of Honor, that's all he wanted to talk about at dinner.
I can't wait to have him in Ring of Honor. That'll be something else. Who knows what he's going to do. Mick Foley said he's coming to Ring of Honor for a reason, but he's not telling us why.
I know he's fired up about it. That's all he wanted to talk about at dinner.
And right there you see Roderick Strong goes into the ropes, and he's got his Generation Next cohorts right in his corner, as it looks like Ace Steel going for the arm now.
I always wonder the strategy of Generation Next. Some matches, they're out there seconding their teammate, and some matches, they leave their teammate out there on their own.
It is really perplexing because it's usually the main event matches, the title matches, that they go it alone. And it's really peculiar because you think it would be the opposite. The lower card matches, they go it alone and they all be out there for the main event matches, but that's just not the case. Maybe we can get Gary Michael Capetta to get us some answers. But right now, Roderick Strong, he is feeling that huge drop kick as he goes crawling to the floor.
And baseball slide to the floor, and Ace Steel pressing the advantage on Roderick Strong. And it's kind of interesting that Roderick Strong, the self-proclaimed Messiah, the backbreaker, and a lot of this match has been Ace Steel working over the back of Strong.
Oh, and look at that. Ace Steel now, he takes that ring post in the small of his back, and Roderick Strong now whipping him into the guardrail.
And it is not a coincidence that Strong, as soon as he gets any advantage, and a nice reversal there by Strong, goes right after the back of Ace Steel, setting him up for those backbreaker combinations later.
Well, it does look like that arm of Roderick Strong might be giving him a little trouble right now. Ace Steel was working on it, and that could affect him in hitting some of those unique backbreakers. There's a headbutt. We were dealing with two heavy hitters in there. Oh, and what a chop. Oh, he just levels him, chops him down like a tree.
Notice something that Roderick Strong does right there, and I was harping about this on the two matches earlier. As soon as Roderick Strong had an advantage, what did he do? He dropped down into a cover. He pressed his advantage. He's always trying to win the match. That's a thinking man's wrestling.
Roderick Strong now focusing his attack on the back, as there are a few kicks to the back.
And the neck.
Yup, and right now he is pulling back on that chin lock while driving that knee into the spine of Ace Steel.
Roderick Strong, very traditionally trained, will go after that body part, and of course, and look at that, we already see where the punishment on the back pays off. Ace Steel can't keep the balance on the body slam attempt.
And notice he came up clutching that lower back. Roderick Strong, does anybody chop harder?
Samoa Joe.
As right now, well, that's a rhetorical question mark, but that's another topic. As right now, Roderick Strong hanging upside down, almost a trio rope position.
And look at it, he's putting all the pressure on that steel railing against the back of Ace Steel. And this is where Strong and the Generation Next is so dangerous. They've got Steel on the floor. If the referee would come to Strong, that would leave him isolated for the other members of Generation Next.
Right now, CM Punk is preparing for perhaps the biggest three-way in ROH history, and Colt Cabana is preparing for his match later on tonight against Austin Aries. That's why you don't see them at ringside. Meanwhile, Jack Evans, he's in Scramble cage, perhaps the most dangerous match ever tonight, and Alex Shelley's already had a match, and Austin Aries has a Cabana match later, and they are still in the corner of Roderick Strong. And there's one of those backbreakers.
Look at the intensity that Roderick Strong has shown this whole match. You've seen no showboating. You've seen no posing. And Roderick Strong has been the most businesslike wrestler in the ring so far tonight.
And there's a big kick to the back. Real quick, Mark Nulty, I've just been told by Artie, our producer, in my earpiece, I have to read over the new Code of Honor real quick. It's made up of 3 laws of honor. They are respect the officials, shake hands with your opponent before and after the match, and keep the playing field fair and level. That means no outside interference, no using any foreign objects, nothing like that. Those with respect and honor follow the Code of Honor and the laws of honor, and those without, they just ignore it. They measure what kind of character you have.
Well, Roderick Strong, a lot more interested in wins and losses than he is people making judgments of his character. And Roderick Strong, not known as much of a high flyer, gets a lot of elevation on that elbow.
And now he's just toying with Ace Steel, and Ace Steel is a very dangerous man. He proved that in the Chicago street fight, and all that did was fire him up. Ace Steel now getting an adrenaline rush. And we had a chop fest that's into a forearm fest now. Have you ever been slapped like that, Mark Nulty? Ouch!
Not by a man.
I'm not going to touch that one, as Roderick Strong taking off his feet with that big running clothesline. Back elbow.
If we saw one thing in that Chicago street fight, is Ace Steel has a threshold of punishment that is completely unmatched by anybody in professional wrestling.
And there's a series of knees right to the face.
Butterfly into the powerbomb by Ace Steel. And now it's Roderick Strong's back that's taking punishment. Steel comes up, hooks the near leg.
You know Ace Steel would love nothing more than to win in his ROH Boston debut. In fact, this is the first time he's ever been to New England. And with backbreakers like that, he's not going to get a victory.
Nelson into the backbreaker by Strong. Strong quickly going for the cover. Both men here have absorbed a lot of punishment.
This has been a very hard-hitting match, and I would expect nothing less. You're dealing with the Bull of the Woods right here.
Gut wrench into the backbreaker. And look at that!
He came up with the arm. And don't forget, he worked on that arm earlier in the match. And that's a very painful look at submission, and Roderick Strong tapped. Wow! I never thought Roderick Strong would tap, and he did. Ace Steel won an effective submission hold. Ace Steel gains the victory for the Second City Saints, and Generation Next, they're not going to allow him to get away with it. Jack Evans, Austin Aries, Alex Shelley put the boots to Ace Steel, just like we saw in Chicago.
And you mentioned, here comes Colt Cabana. Cabana hits the ring, decks Aries, decks Shelley, decks Strong, elbow for Evans. Another elbow for Austin Aries. Colt Cabana cleans house.
And these fans in Boston are used to normally booing Colt Cabana, but in this case he made the save.
That's the fastest I've seen Generation Next move.
And right now Ace Steel and Jack Evans are fighting on the outside. Ace Steel taking it to Jack Evans. Flings him into the guardrail.
If Generation Next want to fight, they found the right 2 guys.
Come on, what do you think you're doing now, huh? Come on now, baby.
And look at Jack Evans, his arm is covered in blood. He must have caught it on something at ringside.
Is it 1-0? How'd you do that last match? How'd you guys do it?
And I think Colt Cabana doesn't want to wait.
What you say next coming? Generation Next. Screw after intermission. Let's do it right now, baby.
Colt Cabana wants Austin Aries right now. Are we going to have to wait till later? And look at this, Austin Aries is accepting.
Austin Aries has no choice. Austin Aries basically is being shamed into the ring.
Are you ready, Austin? Are you ready, Austin Aries? Are you ready, Austin?
And we have a first-time match here. Colt Cabana representing the Second City Saints against Austin Aries of Generation Next. Austin Aries, the wrestling machine. He can do it all, and of course, he's not going to shake hands. Austin Aries can chain wrestle, submissions, high fly, you name it, he does it. He proved that by defeating Bryan Danielson in the 60-plus minute match at Testing the Limit on the last show. Can he keep the win streak going against Colt Cabana?
Colt Cabana trying to regain a little bit of momentum for his own. Of course, Colt Cabana, former two-time ROH Tag Team Champion, still a little bit smarting from the loss to the Rottweilers.
A very surprising loss there at that. And what's Cabana doing now?
Always wear his protective
Goggles. We've seen these tactics by Colt Cabana before. He gets a little goofy, a little bit silly in the beginning of the matches, but he does that to try to get in his opponent's head. And when you're dealing with somebody as serious as Austin Aries, somebody who went 60-plus minutes with Bryan Danielson and won in that 2 out of 3 match, 12th match, you got to get the advantage any way you can.
Well, you call it goofy and silly. I call it mind games. Austin Aries is the type of wrestler that likes to come into the ring with a set strategy. Austin Aries, brilliant strategist and very good game planner. How do you game plan when Colt Cabana's doing stuff like this? It really takes Austin Aries right now doesn't know what to expect next.
And Aries, he definitely looks a little bit flustered.
Colt Cabana has a little bit of a reputation as being off the wall, a little bit of a reputation for being a brawler. I think Cabana is a much better technical wrestler than people give him credit for.
And he also has a lot of agility for a big man, as he shows right there with that arm drag.
Lightning quick arm drag by Cabana. Cabana sets Aries off the ropes. Drop kick right to the midsection of Austin Aries.
And right now, Austin Aries has to take a breather.
Boy, you got that right. Cabana threatening to fly.
Come on, Roderick.
All right, Eddie.
More off-the-wall tactics from Colt Cabana there. And I don't blame Austin Aries for taking a breather, because it is hot in this building, Mark Nulty. I almost need a breather. It's got to be 100 degrees in here.
All right, two things. It's almost 100 degrees, so you're having a hard time breathing to begin with. Now, imagine a 250-pound man kicks you directly in the stomach with both feet. Can you imagine how hard it is to get your breath? Aries, a little payback, goes to the breadbasket.
It should also be noted that this is Austin Aries' debut in the Boston area. In fact, this is Generation Next as a group, their debuts in the Boston area. Although Alex Shelley, look at there, a fake out by Cabana. Aries tried to stop himself in midair and got crotched as a result.
The big man takes to the top rope. Cabana, a lot more adept from those top ropes than you might imagine. Now, Greco-Roman knuckle lock while mounting the top rope. Comes off into the double arm drag. Arm drag. Single leg pickup. And goes into the spinning toe hold.
And he just tied up the hands of Austin Aries with his own body. Wow, that's very unique.
Cabana's a a lot better wrestler than people imagine. When I talk about being a wrestler, I'm talking about being a mat wrestler and a technical wrestler.
Well, you can't get fooled by the goofiness. Colt Cabana is a guy that can do it all, and he must be taking some lessons from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on those arm drags. Absolutely beautiful. And now we have another back and forth.
Standing switch by Cabana. Now Cabana hooks both legs. Roll up position. Now Cabana once again snap mares. Aries comes off the ropes. Sets for the drop kick. This time feints it.
Another pinning combination. Colt Cabana, the master of the pinning combination, gets a 2 count. Comes off with a headlock.
Side headlock. Notice the way he grinds that forearm into the side of the face. That's, again, cuts off the win.
You know, we have talked about the goofiness of Colt Cabana, Mark Nulty, and it should be noted that he told me tonight, after the show, he has the funniest good times, great memories ever with the biggest surprise guest of all time in the history of his talk show. I can't wait to see that.
Is it going to be midgets?
You never know with Colt Cabana.
I like it when he has the midgets on.
And he scores a 2 count with that Iceman King Carson style butt.
Now Cabana, who's been taking a lot out of Dusty Rhodes' repertoire.
And so far has been absolutely dominating Austin Aries. We could have a clean sweep by the Second City Saints.
I was about to say, how quick of a feud would this be if the Second City Saints win both of these matches?
Hey, Colt!
Unfortunately, Colt Cabana stopped a little short there. And Austin Aries with a high knee to the shoulder area.
Just drives that knee into the left shoulder.
And the divorce cord. High impact on the arm and shoulder.
And Cabana is definitely favoring that shoulder.
Well, it's no secret that the shoulder is a lingering sore point on Colt Cabana. Of course, he missed the second anniversary show that was right here in the same building last February with a shoulder injury that at the time was caused by Dan Moff and BJ Whitmer. So the shoulder is a problem area for Colt Cabana. There's a nice pinning combination by Aries.
Hammerlocks and traps the off arm into a pinning combination. Now it's going to go, looks like one of the 3/4 Nelson instead. He's going to hook that leg around the neck while still holding on to the hammerlock, putting all the pressure right on the left shoulder of Colt Cabana.
Well, Austin Aries had a definite strategy in this one. He saw Colt Cabana miss the shoulder into the corner, and since that time, he has targeted that shoulder. Of course, there's a pad in the corner, but underneath that pad is nothing but a steel knob, and that's very unforgiving. Just like those kicks.
Jimmy, the longer this match goes, the more you think it has to favor Austin Aries. Austin Aries, as fine of a conditioned athlete as an ROH, you talked earlier about that 75-minute match with Bryan Danielson. Of course, it's Cabana that's carrying more weight, a lot bulkier weight. Aries may be in better condition here. The longer this goes, the more the quickness advantage of Austin Aries should become apparent.
No doubt about that, Mark. Great analysis right there.
Oh, it's divide and conquer time.
And you know that Ace Steel, he's out of commission now. He's in the back with Jack Evans. And look at this, Generation Next is holding Cabana, and he moves! Austin Aries hit his own teammates.
Cabana was just too big and strong to hold that long.
And Cabana has to think about getting this one over in a hurry right now. He's got an injured shoulder. Whoa, did you hear that chop? That one echoed all throughout the building.
I think the word you're looking for there is resonate.
And you saw the sweat just fly off the chest of Austin Aries.
You can dust Austin Aries' chest for Colt Cabana's fingerprints.
And it looks like one more. Oh!
That hurt me.
Major mistake by Colt Cabana. And there's Aries with that shoulder into the ring post. Oh! Aries now relentless, just driving that head into that steel ring post. We saw what that did to Axon Jim Duggan in the Mid-South area. One Man Gang will tell you about that on a straight shooting series. And Cabana then just going head first into that steel right there. That's just a piece of steel that the logo's on.
And the Jackals are surrounding.
What's Aries doing? Cactus Jack style. And now his impact on the shoulder again.
I think Aries may have fallen short, though. I think Aries...
Hold on. Mark, look at Cabana. He is busted open. He's never been busted open in his career. Come on, Cabana.
He'll never be able to say that again because that's not a mouse. That's a deep cut. And he is bleeding profusely and he's bleeding quickly. Let me point out two things. Number one, that blood's going into the eye. Not only are you losing energy, but you're losing vision. Jimmy, earlier you talked about the heat in the building and the sweat in the building. As you sweat, you probably mowed your yard before and felt the sweat in your eyes and feeling that sting. Multiply that by 15,000. That's what that feels like in the eyes of Colt Cabana right now.
I usually get my wife to mow the lawn. And Aries now like a shark with tasting blood.
And this could be it right here.
He has a deep Fujiwara armbar there, and now he's grabbing the other arm too. In Rings of Saturn, we've seen him use that now. Pinning combination.
That's a double overhook, rolling him over to the shoulders. Cabana to the corner. Cabana trying to fight his way out of trouble. You mentioned earlier about the heat in the building, Jimmy. That heat is going to help sap the strength of Cabana as he loses the blood too.
You know, when you're bleeding like that for the first time, it can also be a very traumatic experience.
That's a great point. There is a tendency to panic when you see that much blood.
Cabana trying to back elbow, but I think he hurt himself more in the process.
Now Aries is just measuring Cabana.
He is just pummeling that shoulder. And there's a simple choke. Very unsportsmanlike.
Right now, I'm not sure Cabana knows where he is.
Oh, that blood is just continuing to flow.
Well, this is the first time Cabana's ever been busted open. I think this is going to be the first time he's ever had stitches. But that is a deep cut.
And look at that outside interference from Generation Next. Totally unnecessary. And Cabana can't see. Oh, this is just embarrassing. He rolled up the referee. He doesn't even know where he is. He can't even see. He thinks he won.
You're just seeing shapes and shadows now if you're Colt Cabana. And he gets decapitated with a clothesline. The cover by Aries.
That was just almost sad to see, Mark Nulty.
Well, you brought up a great point. If you're Colt Cabana, you're panicking a little bit right now, especially with that much blood. And because the cut's on the forehead, you know, it's just streaming into your eyes.
Look at Cabana, though. He's showing a lot of heart, fighting back, showing some courage, showing the heart. One thing about Colt Cabana, he is not scared of hardcore battles. We saw it against Moff and Whitmer. And now he's whipping Austin Aries in. Huge clothesline scores.
Turns him inside out with the clothesline. But again, Cabana doesn't quite have his wits about him. But he is getting an opportunity to recover.
The fans are getting behind Colt Cabana. They're seeing the kind of heart and determination he's showing. They want him to defeat Generation Next. Cabana fighting back with the back elbows.
Snapping that right hand. A little bit of Dusty Rhodes. And a bionic elbow.
And Cabana, he's going to follow up. He drops a big elbow cover. Didn't hook the leg, nothing. You're not going to get Austin Aries like that.
Cabana has to win this match in the next 60 seconds if he's going to win it. He's still losing too much energy and too much blood.
Wow, neck right across the knee and drops another elbow. A sloppy cover, although he did hook the leg, but once again, only a 2 count by Paul Turner.
Again, this is what happens when you're losing blood and you don't have perfect vision. Cabana this time is going to go to the second rope, being a little bit more confident.
I believe that cut is beginning to close up too. Things might be turning in Colt Cabana's favor. He's going up to the top now for the third big elbow. He might be taking a little bit too much time. He still might be woozy. And yes, Austin Aries moves.
Look at Aries, hooks both legs immediately. Austin Aries, so smart, always takes advantage of the situation as soon as it presents itself.
No one has really emerged onto the scene in ROH the way that Austin Aries has. It's hard to believe this man only made his debut a few months ago, and since that time he has skyrocketed right to the top, and deservedly so. He is absolutely incredible. This is the future of the business right here.
Austin Aries showing his strength. Brainbuster.
Cover. Frustrated, and I don't blame him. I can't believe Colt Cabana kicked out.
Jimmy, imagine lifting somebody that outweighs you by 75 pounds over your head. What incredible strength by Austin Aries.
Colt Cabana, though, still fighting back.
Cabana back off the ropes.
Oh, and there's Shelley interfering again. Paul Turner has to do something about this.
Right in front of the referee. Crucifix. And rolls through with it.
Into that rings of Saturn, and that's all pressure on that injured shoulder. Cabana has suffered blood loss for the first time in his career, and now Aries is tearing at that shoulder. And he's made people tap to this move. Austin Aries has the talent to be an ROH World Champion. Can Colt Cabana survive this? Cabana trying to hang on, and look at Austin Aries just wrenching that in.
He's going to dislocate that shoulder.
And Cabana is not tapping though. No, he passed out.
He had to.
He passed out. Paul Turner smartly ending this match. Colt Cabana has passed out, could not survive the pain and the blood loss. And he would have been inhuman to do that.
Look at Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley has slipped a chair into the ring.
Well, what are they doing?
I guess having him unconscious and dislocating his shoulder isn't enough. They're going to try to break the arm.
Is this how they plan on taking the spots of the Second City Saints? By maiming them? They want to be known as the top faction.
Colt Cabana completely defenseless, unconscious in the middle of the ring.
Oh my God, Mark. And here comes CM Punk and Ace Steel. They were just a little bit too late though. And they're cleaning out the Generation Next. But how bad is Colt Cabana injured? Is this what Generation Next calls taking all the spots? I'm absolutely disgusted.
turn up the lights. Can you feel the energy? I said, can you feel the energy? Okay. Now, get ready to lose your mind. Get ready to lose control. Now, you're a victim of hardstyle.
About to take a look at the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Rocky Romero, Ricky Reyes. They are part of the Rottweilers, and they are managed by a man who is a lot lighter in the pockets these days, Julius Smokes. And they will be taking on Special K of Izzy and Dixie. In fact, Izzy and Dixie are former tag team champions, and look at this, they're offering a handshake.
Special K's offering a handshake?
They must be getting more serious. The Rottweilers, though, they have no respect for anything. Homicide and Loki, of course, the other two members of the Rottweilers, and they're not going to be shaking anyone's hands. At ringside, and for Special K, you have the cute as always Becky, and Izzy's new girlfriend, Lacey.
Oh, great. That's exactly what Special K needs to keep them focused. More women's at ringside. Let's talk a little bit about the dynamics of this title match. First of all, you've got Mock and Whitmer, who a lot of people think really are the #1 contenders for the ROH Tag Team Championship. They would love to be having a title shot tonight, but instead they're going to be in the cage melee.
Well, they actually petitioned to have this tag title shot tonight, and Allison Danger, who still owns their contracts, said, no way, they're going to be in Scramble Cage Melee tonight because I want to see them get killed. So that's a a whole nother situation. And I do have to admit that Izzy and Dixie are probably the third choice right now for tonight, because Dan Moff and BJ Whitmore were number 2, but number 1 was Jay and Mark Briscoe. And of course, they're not here tonight because they did not pay the fine. They could not afford to as a result of what happened in that riot. As there you see Lacey, and she's pretty hot, maybe a little too young looking though. You gotta stay away from those young girls, Mark. They'll get you in trouble.
Well, that sounds like the voice of experience speaking. But if we can get back to the match, let's talk a little bit about this dynamic here. You've got Reyes and Romero making their first defense of that ROH Tag Team Championship. Nice running into Guri and a flipping drop kick.
That moonsault drop kick by Izzy, and he's looking good in the early going of this one.
But a championship team is going to be the most vulnerable right after they win the belt. They still don't have that rhythm as champion. Holding the belt for a long time. Nice double team move by the Special K. And the cover.
Well, Special K is coming into this one focused.
Well, Special K is getting a little bit of a gift here. As you mentioned, they were the third choice for this opportunity. But when you get an opportunity like this falls in your laps, a lot of times it energizes you. Now, we've talked a lot about Special K's losing streak. But Dixie and Izzy, they were tag team champions, albeit for 2 weeks. So no matter how many matches they've lost, they know in their heart that they've won these belts before. And that no matter how many matches they lose, there's a confidence that's going to come with that.
Rocky Romero now unloading on Izzy, but a reversal. And Izzy hits another drop kick. And the Rottweilers are frustrated in the early going. And what's Izzy doing now? Oh, and look at that, Reyes just kicking the legs down from underneath Izzy as he was going for that dive.
Well, that's simply not paying attention. If you're going to do anything on the apron, you can't be doing it in the Rottweiler's corner. I think that's without the benefit of the tag. Well, the Rottweilers were smart to stay out of that parking lot a few weeks ago.
Well, they were too busy preparing for their tag title match. That's why Reyes and Romero were not out there. In fact, they were doing squats and push-ups, sit-ups, everything to get into shape for that match, getting warmed up. And as a result, they ended up winning the tag titles because you saw CM Punk. He was a peacemaker in that riot, and that might have taken his focus away. Meanwhile, Reyes and Romero entered that match ready to win the tag titles, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, they need to keep their focus here because they probably come in tonight thinking they were going to have to face Whitmer and Moff, thinking they're going to have to face the Briscoes. Instead, they get, as you mentioned, a team that has had some problems winning lately. That being said, this is a really dangerous spot for the Rottweilers because if you come in here overconfident, Izzy and Dixie can beat you. They have held the tag team championship before. Now, nice ride there. And finally a sit-out by Rocky Romero. Romero, I think, a little bit upset that it took him that long to get away. Now he's going to force him into the corner where Reyes is waiting for him.
Dixie, though, showing a lot of heart. Avoiding those strikes. Oh, look how quick Rocky Romero is. Now he's unloading on Dixie. I don't expect this to be a long match, I gotta be honest.
You better be paying attention. Nice.
Well, Special K just keeps coming back and back again. Dixie, a beautiful leg lariat. I haven't seen this much heart out of these kids in a long time.
There have been world titles that have changed hands on substitution before. When Terry Funk beat Jack Briscoe in Miami, Izzy with a flying head scissors.
Wow, Special K, put it all on the line right here in Boston.
Izzy, everything to gain, nothing to lose. As you mentioned, you yourself said that you're expecting this to be a short match. So why not go out there, throw all caution to the wind?
And that's exactly what Izzy just did. I don't even know how to describe that move. And it shook him up, but he tags in Dixie. And so far, Special K has been dominating the Rottweilers. I can't believe it. Oh, and there's a trip from the outside by Reyes.
As I mentioned, the world titles have changed hands on substitutions before. Jack Briscoe went to Miami to face Dory Funk Jr. When Dory Funk misses his plane, they put Terry Funk in there, a guy that Jack Briscoe had beaten several times. And Terry Funk pulls off the upset that night and wins the world title as a substitute. You've got Izzy and Dixie. I know I keep saying this, but they know they are capable of winning a world title match. Double underhook now by Reyes. Beautiful butterfly suplex.
And the ROH Tag Team Champions are pulling out the heavy artillery right now. Julius Smokes loving it at ringside. And I didn't think we were going to see Julius Smokes tonight, but he walked into the building, and ROH officials weren't expecting to see him. They were as surprised as anybody, but he walked in, put down a lot of cash money, and paid that fine, and that's why you're seeing him here tonight.
Well, how bad does Homicide want to be in that three-way match with CM Punk and Samoa Joe coming in?
It was an undisclosed fine, but it was a lot of money, and Homicide paid it, Julius Smokes paid it, and Samoa Joe paid it. And there you see, look at Special K trying to fire up Dixie on the outside.
I've never seen Special K this focused.
You notice something though, it's been tough to see because the director hasn't been on Lacey much, but Lacey doesn't seem to care when Dixie's in there. She's only caring when Izzy is in there. She's looking very indifferent at ringside right now.
Forget about the chicks. Just concentrate on Reyes and Romero. God knows that's enough for you to concentrate on.
And there's that cocky smile by Romero, and Izzy has seen enough. And look at Reyes. He's all over Izzy. He's going to punish him for breaking up that hold. And boy, what a scowl on the face of Ricky Reyes. Down goes Dixie. Oh, what a kick.
Reyes is going to stay in the ring. I really like Reyes. I like his intensity. I like how hard everything that Reyes hits, it's got a little bit of an explosion in it. Everything that he hits just has that extra impact.
And enziguri by Dixie, though. And Rocky Romero going straight for his partner Izzy so that there was no one for Dixie to tag to. And you know what? When you're dealing with Reyes and Romero, here are another two guys that haven't been in ROH for that long, and they've made quite an impact. Oh, and a miscommunication, and there's the tag. And a springboard frog splash on both the tag team champions. Becky loving it at ringside. Cheech is going crazy.
Gotta keep following up on the advantage right here.
You know what? Special K came so close to that victory against Jimmy Rave. Maybe they're finally going to get it here, and they'll be back on top of the tag team scene. And Izzy with the slice bread number 2.
What's the near leg?
Oh.
Izzy following up on Reyes. Oklahoma roll. Romero makes the save.
And Romero's getting a little frustrated as you see him yelling at Reyes. This one should have been over by now. Spine buster.
Looks like he's going to step into. To see if he can get him turned. He gets him turned.
And Dixie has to make the save, but Romero's not going to give him that opportunity.
Can Izzy figure out a way to get out of the sharpshooter? Pulls him away from the ropes. Romero and Dixie are locked up.
And Dixie now sending Romero to the steel. He's got to save Izzy. Oh, and he does it a big way. And Julius Smokes has a nerve to question the referee, Gary Moore.
And look at Izzy with the presence of mind to pull Dixie to the corner where he can make the tag.
And there it is. I can feel it, Mark. I think we're going to see an upset tonight.
Stranger things have happened.
I can sense it. I think we're going to see it. Oh, and over the head, belly to belly.
With the release right on the head. But there goes, but Dixie kicks out.
And Romero definitely getting frustrated on the outside. Becky trying to fire up Dixie. Lacey not seeming to care when Dixie is in there. But I'm sensing an upset. Tornado DDT scores!
There's the cover, Romero. They have to come in and make this save. Julius Smokes was frantic on the floor.
We could be seeing the upset of the year right here.
Special K trying to cash the lottery ticket.
Una Karada into a pinning combination. Oh, another 2 count by Special K.
Now it needs to get Izzy into the action, needs to tag in.
Perhaps Dixie going for one move too many, and now he's getting into the wrong corner. Oh, kick right to the head.
Go behind waistlock. German suplex with a high bridge. Izzy off the rope for the move with the outside moonsault.
What a save by Izzy. And Dixie might have been knocked out from that kick. He's got to make the tag if he can.
Reyes being implored to get to the corner to bring Romero in.
And yes, here comes a fresh Romero. He's going airborne. And he gets caught with a drop kick. It's Special K's night. Dixie plants him. Can he tag Izzy?
Three-quarter Nelson suplex. Hooks the back leg.
Oh.
Again, you've got to tag Izzy in. The teamwork needs to be just a little bit more cohesive here from Special K. But what an incredible effort by Izzy and Dixie.
Oh, Romero lighted him up though. Oh, a knee right to the head. Another blow to the head of Dixie.
Romero's so athletic.
How many of those blows to the head can you take? I know there are definite cobwebs in the head of Dixie right now.
Got to bring him to the corner. No real double team moves by the Rottweilers.
And there's Izzy on the outside with a knee. Oh, and Romero teaches him a lesson.
But it's giving Dixie time.
And there's Reyes. A roll up. Oh, a 2 count only on that small package. And right now Izzy's on the outside and Dixie's in trouble. It's a 2-on-1 situation.
I think Reyes and Romero have this referee intimidated. There's not a lot of tags here from the Rottweilers.
Oh, a guillotine knee from the top. And Romero making sure Izzy's not around. And that's it. One blow to the head too many for Dixie. But what an effort for Special K. Who can defeat Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero, though? Their reign has just begun.
that you're a great wrestler. Nobody here denies that you're fitting to be a pure wrestling champion. But let's get one thing straight. Just because you defend your championship on 2 nights, just because you defend your championship in England, you still need to remember one thing. Your pure wrestling title means absolutely nothing next to the world title. So Doug, good luck tonight. And John Walters, Jesus Christ, in front of your hometown crowd, try not to choke here like you do everywhere else.
Wow, strong words from the world champion Samoa Joe, telling John Walters not to choke, and degrading Doug Williams and the Pure title, saying the Pure title will never be anything next to his world title. But I'll tell you what, Doug Williams has done a heck of a job of raising the prestige of that new belt. He won it July 17th at Reborn Completion. He then defended it on consecutive nights against Shelley and Austin Aries on Death Before Dishonor weekend, and that's taking on the top competition right there. And then he went over to the United Kingdom and defended the belt over there, making it an international title, just like Samoa Joe did with the ROH title when Samoa Joe made it into the ROH world title. Doug Williams, a great job making the Pure title prestigious belt. The newest belt, in fact, in the wrestling industry right now.
If I were you, Jimmy, I wouldn't say to Samoa Joe's face that he made it just like Samoa Joe did, made it a world title just like Samoa Joe did. I wouldn't say that to him.
I'll be missing a few teeth if I do.
Boy, Samoa Joe, strong words not only about the Pure title, which, to give Samoa Joe a little bit of credit here, at least he's consistent. He's been saying that for months. He doesn't agree with the whole concept of the Pure title. Samoa Joe, one of the things that makes him such a great champion is he faces every card like he's the challenger. He is so intent on proving that he is the dominant and the supreme wrestler in ROH.
And he's done a heck of a job of that. And right now, Doug Williams and John Walters, the pressure is on John Walters. This is an athlete we've been waiting for him to break through the next level. He's come close. Everyone remembers his final battle 2003 match against Xavier, but he's been frustrated in breaking through to that upper echelon. In fact, he himself has become so frustrated that he has promised, and that's a big word when you promise something, but he has promised to walk out of his hometown of Boston tonight as the Pure champion.
Well, on one hand, you would think that John Walters is going to have an advantage here because this is basically his home ring and his home crowd.
Whoa!
But Doug Williams needs to be conscious of his own shoulders and just, a double-arm surfboard, if you will, a cross-arm surfboard, if you will, by Doug Williams. And now, the reversal by John Walters. John Walters going for his own double-arm surfboard, cross-arm surfboard.
He reversed the necktie, went to the back of the knee to bring Doug Williams down, and now he's got it. But once again, you got to watch the shoulders. John Walters, he has his parents here tonight, his family, his friends, his hometown fans, all in attendance, and he wants to win the belt for them.
Now, Jimmy, at first glance you would think that's a huge advantage, but that also puts an extra amount of pressure on you as well. Doug Williams isn't worried about disappointing his home fans. He's not worried about his mother's watching him lose. And those are the things that can weigh on you sometimes.
John Walters has definitely put the pressure on himself. Maybe that's what he needed to break through to the next level, though. I guess we'll find out. But if he loses in front of his family, his friends, after promising a title win right here in his hometown, you might not ever see him again in ROH. How could you come back and show your face again?
Well, Samoa Joe certainly didn't help by dropping that don't choke line on him.
Well, we know the history of Boston sports teams, especially the Red Sox. I guess that doesn't apply to the Patriots anymore.
Well, really, or the Celtics.
But when you think Boston sports, you think Red Sox and you think choke, and that pains me to say it, because I was a huge Red Sox fan growing up. And right now, though, we have a beautiful Muda lock. Well, both men trying for submissions early, and that's one of the tactics in these pure title matches because, of course, you only get 3 rope breaks.
And Doug Williams won the title with the rope break rule. Oh, look at that. Goes into the nose. Hooks the nose.
And a back elbow. Williams gets out of it. That is right. It was reborn completion. There came down to Doug Williams against Alex Shelley in that mini tournament. Alex Shelley used up all his rope breaks, and Doug Williams used the ropes to apply an arm submission, a very unique move that you wouldn't see in a normal match. Alex Shelley had nowhere to go and had to tap. So one of the strategies you need to employ in a pure title match is to get your opponent to use his rope breaks, because if your opponent has used up all his rope breaks, he can no longer use the ropes to break up a pin or submission. And not only that,
Doug Williams can use the ropes as a weapon.
Yup, you can use those ropes as a weapon. So right now, you want to get your opponent to use up those rope breaks. At the same time, if you are in a submission hold, the recipient of a submission hold, you might want to try to think of another way to get out of the hold. The easy way out is usually getting to the ropes, but a lot of times, you might not want to take the easy way out because you might have to save those rope breaks till later.
Well, the 3 rope break rule really forces you to wrestle a more offensive match. You can't use the ropes as a defensive tactic.
And so far, both men are exchanging submission holds on each other, but no one using any rope breaks.
And one common opponent that both these men have had over the last few months is Generation Next. Of course, Doug Williams, winning the match with the title open, wins the match in finals against Alex Shelley, then has a great defense against Austin Aries.
And there's that rematch against Alex Shelley, too. That was an excellent match. John Walters has been at odds with Generation Next. In fact, they bloodied John Walters at the Survival of the Fittest show, and John Walters has been looking for revenge since then. As a matter of fact, the night that Generation Next made their debut, it was Alex Shelley making Walters tap in that landmark 8-man tag at the Generation Next show.
So somehow Walters manages to win the title here. He can really force the issue with Generation Next, because now he'd be in the driver's seat in determining what the match is, and kind of has a situation where he can kind of keep Generation Next from turning this into a 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1.
Generation Next, they tried to take John Walters' spot and make their name at his expense, and they have not been successful yet, although they do have gotten a lot of good hits. They have put John Walters down time and time again.
Both Walters and Williams so far earlier in this match, it looks like their number one priority is not to make a mistake. I think both men have a lot of respect for each other. Both men understand how dangerous the other one is as far as being able to come up. Big European forearm uppercut by Williams. Both men very dangerous in the fact that they can apply a submission hold from anywhere in the ring, both from an up position or a down position. Drop kick and a beauty by John Walters.
That was perfectly executed. Oh, and Walters now the stunner on the leg of Doug Williams. And look at the pain on the face of Doug Williams. The torture device. He has brought prestige to the title. But right now, John Walters is singling his leg and going right for it.
Reverse step over toe hold into the high bridge.
And that's a lot of pressure on the knee.
Williams has got to watch his shoulders here as well as figure out a way to break up that hold. All the pressure on the ankle.
Plus the tendons and ligaments in the knee are being stretched right now. That is working over the whole leg of Doug Williams.
And the higher that bridge gets, the more pressure that's putting on the ankle.
And there you see Doug Williams though going for a cravat almost. No. And he turned it over. That allowed him to turn the hold over on Walters.
What a great counter by Doug Williams. That's why he's your pure wrestling champion. I don't disagree with Samoa Joe in public often for obvious reasons. I think the pure wrestling title is a great belt. And I enjoy the competition.
And there you see John Walters, instead of taking the easy way out and going to the ropes, he opted to go for those back elbows instead and save the rope break. There's that big European uppercut. Of course, no close fists in these pure title matches.
A forearm can actually be more devastating than a close fist if you know how to throw them.
Well, I should note it's no close fist to the head or the face.
Double leg pickup, looks like he wants to go. Well, now he's going to try to turn that over into a sharpshooter.
Once again, more pressure on the legs of Doug Williams. And now Williams inching towards the rope. Will he use a rope break here? Trying to push his way out of it. And he had to go to the ropes.
Interesting, you look at that giant barrel that Doug Williams calls an upper body. John Walter trying to take the legs out from under it.
And Doug Williams was forced to use his first rope break.
Crotch hold and a lift by Walters. Now wants to position him.
And this is a submission on the leg.
He's got that leg blocked and twisting the ankle.
Very unique submission there by John Walters.
And it's also forcing all the blood to go to Williams' head as well.
That is a tough hold to keep on, as that's a lot of weight John Walters had to get up there, but he managed to do his damage with that hold. And now he's going right back to the legs in an Indian deathlock.
Doug Williams is already down one rope break.
And look, he's swinging those fists, and he can't do that. Todd Sinclair warning Doug Williams, if you do punch your opponent in the face, you will get a warning, and the second time you will lose a rope break, and if you're out of rope breaks, you'll be disqualified, and the pure title can change hands on a DQ or a countout. And there you see Walters turning it over, and Doug Williams having to use another rope break. What an advantage John Walters has right now. He is up 2 rope breaks to none.
Now John Walters can really open up the offense.
Come on.
Walters right back on that leg.
Come on, Doug. What do you say? Come on, Doug.
Doug Williams, the flat of the foot.
And look at that. Williams into the ropes again.
That's 3 rope breaks. Doug Williams going to try to go to the floor to regroup. Doug Williams obviously frustrated. John Walters, we talked earlier about the pressure of wrestling in front of your home crowd. It has obviously sharpened John Walters.
John Walters with a 3-0 lead on the rope breaks, and the ropes are in play for John Walters right now. Not only can Doug Williams not save himself from a pin or submission with the ropes, but John Walters can use the ropes to apply any kind of submission he wants.
And he's going to go right for it. Looks like he wants to drape that foot over the bottom rope. Going to drive his knee into the back of Doug Williams' knee. I thought he might almost try to grapevine the knee across the ropes right there. And there it comes.
John Walters did make Chad Collier submit at the last stand in a preview of the Pure Wrestling title when it was a 3 rope break rule match. Collier used up all his rope breaks, and John Walters got a Boston Crab in the ropes, made Collier tap. And Walters there, he just had a unique submission on Doug Williams using the ropes, and Williams fought out.
Doug Williams is probably the better striker of these 2 men. Heavier.
Desperation pin, not enough.
Well, and you still can't throw caution to the wind here, because Doug Williams is so totally proficient. He can catch a cradle out of nowhere, and he's going to catch Walters in midair. No, Walters reverses it. Reverse DDT into the back of the knee.
And that did damage to Williams as well as Walters. A desperation move by Doug Williams. The Pure Champion is in trouble.
John Walters trying to press the advantage. Look at the quickness of the big man, Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, he's going back, wrenching the neck of John Walters. He used cravats earlier in the opening minutes of the match. So Doug Williams has been working on the neck of Walters. Nice Northern Lights, cover! No. But Doug Williams, he will soften up that neck to set up the Chaos Theory. Nobody kicks out of the Chaos Theory. That devastating roll through into a German suplex.
Now puts him onto the apron.
And that's a rope break for Walters. And a blockbuster by Williams into the ring. A cover.
A mistake there by John Walters. I don't think John Walters quite knew where he was.
And John Walters has used his first rope break, though.
Well, he's still up 3-1 on rope breaks.
Yeah, that is a huge advantage, Mark Nulty.
And Doug Williams having a hard time maintaining any type of a vertical base.
And now he's going for that cravat again and adding a bunch of knee strikes. And there's an ace crusher, a variation of it. And he's going right to the neck with that crossface. And look at that. He brought Walters close to the ropes. He knows the ropes are right there. He is tempting Walters to use the ropes. And Walters does. And all of a sudden, it's 3 rope breaks to 2.
Doug Williams, so polished as a wrestler, refuses to panic. Even though he was down 3-0 in rope breaks, just kept wrestling his match. Notice once he got the opportunity, he focused his attack on the upper body of Walters, where his superior size and power would come into play.
And you know what? I'm getting a vibe in this crowd right now. These people have seen it before with the Red Sox. You don't think we're going to see Boston choke again, do you?
Well, Grady Little's not in John Walters' corner, so that's going to help a little bit.
I still remember 1986 like it was yesterday, sitting in my parents' living room outside of Boston. Now it's heartbreaking. And there's John Walters using rope break number 3. Neither man has any rope breaks left.
And this is gonna be it right here. Doug Williams.
As there you see the ropes are at play. This submission is perfectly legal. Oh, and a big forearm to the back of the neck, insult to injury. John Walters flailing with those strikes, trying to connect, trying to save himself, and he does.
And give Doug Williams credit. Doug Williams never panicked once he was down 3-0 on the rope breaks.
When he used that 3rd rope break, he went to the floor, got some composure, and now he went right after Walters' neck, and he caused Walters to use all his rope breaks, and the momentum is definitely back in Doug Williams' favor.
You've got a battle for the tempo here. Walters wants to wrestle this match on the ground and where he can go after Doug Williams' legs. Williams, the stronger man, the better striker, wants to stand up, and Oklahoma side roll. Walters kicks out at 2.
Boy, this crowd is just almost deflated. It's almost like they know what's going to happen.
Reverse waistlock by Williams. Now runs into the boot of Walters. Walters comes up.
Oh, a dragon!
Suplex, he's got him! Walters manages to roll the shoulder.
You notice, though, Doug Williams was not able to plant both feet because that one leg is bothering him too much.
The crowd trying to rally Walters. Williams almost taunting the crowd here a little bit.
Let's see if Doug Williams can follow up. That neck has to be screaming in pain on John Walters. And there's that high knee. I don't know if that's what Doug Williams wants to go for. Scores with that suplex.
He's trying to get some blood circulating into the leg. Now Doug Williams, this is not his forte coming up to the top rope. John Walters catches him with a drop kick all the way to up on the top rope.
Maybe Boston won't be heartbroken again. Hurricanrana, no, Williams holds on. No, a roll through by John Walters. Small package by Williams. I thought that might have been it, and now this crowd, they're sensing John Walters could pull this off. Lug blower to the face. To the back.
Hooks the foreleg.
Oh, and this crowd thought that was it. Can John Walters bring the championship home? He's got Williams down. 2 count only.
Now it's John Walters showing his composure. After the big rally by Doug Williams, Walters had a chance to fold but did not do so.
Oh, Walters sent into the corner though. Here it is. Chaos Theory. Once again. Doug Williams unable to plant both legs. The leg bothering him too much, and that allowed John Walters to kick out of the Chaos Theory. John Walters just did the impossible.
Doug Williams, did you see the look on his face?
And look at Walters going right to the knee. The knee obviously bothering Doug Williams.
Double leg pickup. Catapults him over the top rope. Williams trying to skin the cat. Walters there waiting for him. Walters is going to hook the leg.
This is legal. All the rope breaks are used. He's got the leg submission on.
We have a new champion.
John Walters did it! What a match! What a victory for John Walters! I can't believe it! We have a new pure champion! John Walters might be busted open in the nose. His neck might be screaming in pain, but you know he's never felt better in his life. I'll tell you what, Homicide has some nerve wearing that Yankee shirt in the Boston, especially after John Walters just won a pure title in his own hometown.
Boy, I'll tell you, the people in Boston, when kids first learn to speak the words, first words aren't mom or dad, it's Yankees suck. And we're hearing that right now.
We have on our hands perhaps the biggest three-way in Ring of Honor history. Homicide of the Rottweilers with Rocky Romero and Julius Smokes in his corner. And there he is disgracing referee Sean Hansen by making him put on the shirt.
Is he going to try to make the referee wear the Yankees shirt? He's manhandling the referee, which is a good time to point out he can get away with manhandling the referee a little bit because we do have relaxed rules to let these men settle their feud.
The world title is not on the line. Hansen standing up to Homicide as Homicide is crazed. But the world title is not on the line. Homicide received his last chance at Samoa Joe's world title at Death Before Dishonor Part 1. The result was an absolutely brutal match that Samoa Joe won despite Homicide surviving several of Joe's finishers. After the match, Homicide, Romero, Loki, and Smokes all disgraced Samoa Joe in the world title by spitting on the world title belt. What we have here now are perhaps the three biggest stars in Ring of Honor today, and this is all about pride. It's all about bragging rights, because the winner can call himself the icon of ROH.
And he just spits on CM Punk's hand when Punk offers the handshake. Earlier, Punk and Samoa Joe shook hands.
Homicide, he's a changed man. He snapped. He's not going to follow the code of honor anymore. I should mention that the real reason this match is taking place is a direct result about what happened at World Title Classic. CM Punk and Samoa Joe battled in perhaps the greatest match in ROH history in a 1-hour draw for the world title, and this is going to turn Punk babyface in a hurry. As I was saying, Punk and Joe, that epic 1-hour match for the world title.
Is that how you define a cheap pop?
I'll ask Mick Foley when he's here on September 11th.
Now Samoa Joe
Anyways, though, after that match, Homicide ruined the post-match atmosphere. He totally disrespected Samoa Joe and CM Punk as he ran in and stole Samoa Joe's new world title belt that was presented to him that night by the esteemed Les Thatcher. And we saw that belt one more time at Survival of the Fittest, and we haven't seen it since. Who knows what Homicide did with it? Maybe he pawned the belt to pay that fine.
Well, you have three men that can all make the case that they are the biggest star in Ring of Honor. Samoa Joe, again, will wrestle non-title matches, even when he doesn't have to defend the belt, in matches where he really doesn't have anything to gain except to prove once and for all that he is the king of the mountain.
Well, all three of these men have issues with each other as they exchange arm drags in the early going. CM Punk wants to prove he can defeat Samoa Joe. There was no winner in that 60-minute match. CM Punk felt disrespected by Homicide for involving himself in the post-match activities. Samoa Joe, he wants to prove he can defeat CM Punk because he wasn't able to get the job done. And of course, Samoa Joe and Homicide outright hate each other. A feud 2 years plus running here in ROH. And this will actually be the last time that Samoa Joe and Homicide face each other in 2004 in an ROH ring. Ring of Honor officials have decided that the hatred has grown too deep and there needs to be a cooling off period. So this will be the last time they're in the same match in 2004.
Well, and isn't it interesting that the Rottweilers are the master of the numbers game? Have double team, triple team, quadruple teamed everybody every chance they got. Now Homicide finds himself in a position where Homicide's going to get double teamed, where he's at the numbers disadvantage.
Joe and Punk each have something to prove to each other, but they don't have that hatred. They didn't disrespect each other. And wow, look at Joe though, fighting back. He's acting like Punk disrespected him.
I'm about to say that doesn't make those slaps feel any better.
But we got to roll up. The first fall wins it. And now Joe and Punk face to face.
A little intimidation here by Joe and Punk.
Who is the better man? When will Punk get another shot at the world title? He wants the victory here because that'll get him an immediate rematch for that world title.
Have you heard Julius Smokes dropping the term uncrowned champion?
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And there's a Homicide tripping Punk on the outside. Homicide and Punk have had 2 single matches, Round Robin Challenge 3 and The Last Stand. Both of them classics, and both of them won by Homicide. So Punk has a little something to prove there. And he just did that by peppering the back of Homicide's head.
But he does that by, first of all, proving that he can control the ride and then peppers the back of the head.
Real quick, Mark, I have to pay the bills. I know you people out there, you don't like this segment, but hey, you want us to stay in business, this is how we do it. Homicide has a fork. I got to make note of that real quick. Of course, Ring of Honor has the new merchandise company. Check it out, ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500. Now I'll get right back to the match as they are struggling, battling for that fork in this relaxed rules first ball wins it match. Who's going to come up with that dangerous fork?
And maybe Samoa Joe may just walk over and grab it.
Oh, he walked in at the right time as he stops both their hands, puts them both down with a clothesline. I do have to say that ROHWrestling.com and the new merchandise company, DVDs from several different promotions. You won't believe what kind of DVDs we have. Figures, books, t-shirts, and of course the new Straight Shooting series. ROH is the new King of the Shoot interview, and we prove it with the Straight Shooting series. Check it out. Kamala, Steve Corino, One Man Gang, Skandar Akbar, The Fantastics, and many more to be released, including the biggest shoot interview ever, Mick Foley. You think Mick Foley's paying attention to this match? Maybe he's coming into ROH to take on one of these guys.
Well, Mick Foley would want to start at the top, and he's probably going to be very interested to figure out who wins this. By the way, notice Samoa Joe did not give that fork back to the referee.
Samoa Joe has that thing tucked in his boot right now. And there you see the hatred exploding between Joe and Homicide, and Punk now tripping Joe. We've seen that a couple of times in the early going of this one. A lot of mind games, as all three of these men are really geniuses. I mean, they do deserve that kind of credit. And they are the masters of strategy. Welcome to Chicago by CM Punk, that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
Let's point something out about CM Punk, and let's make this really clear. Right now, CM Punk has been wrestling some people that the fans don't like, and CM Punk is getting cheered. CM Punk has not changed at all. CM Punk will do anything necessary to win a match, and he'll have very little regard to rules or really what you would expect. Nice move by CM Punk. His athleticism lands on his feet at the German suplex, but that time Samoa Joe with the lift drops him right into Homicide, and there's the belly-to-back suplex with the release.
But Homicide comes right in with a bulldog. No effect on Joe, though. And Joe now taking it to Homicide. He's got him hooked. So much history between these two.
Spinning power slam by Samoa Joe. The cover. Homicide kicks out. Samoa Joe's going to go right into the Fujiwara armbar. CM Punk on the floor. Homicide's going to have to try to figure out a way to break this up himself, and Homicide's going to go to the ropes for the break.
Samoa Joe looking a little bit frustrated. Homicide 0-3 when it comes to world title matches, but Homicide has defeated Samoa Joe before, most notably that no-holds-barred match at Empire State Showdown when Homicide almost killed Samoa Joe with that noose.
And it should be pointed out, in a title match, Homicide...
Go ahead, Mark Nulty.
I'm just watching this incredible action. There's Julius Smokes, but Homicide actually has a pinfall on Samoa Joe in a title match, but it was later reversed.
And Homicide just got nailed by that tope with a flying forearm by Samoa Joe. You made mention of Homicide thinking that he got the pinfall on Samoa Joe. He might have, it's debatable. Reborn stage 1, and now is the night that Homicide snapped and threw the fireball in the face of Samoa Joe.
And a lot of wrestlers like to get paid for wrestling. You could actually say Homicide and Julius Smokes are paying to wrestle this match.
So is Samoa Joe. He paid that fine as well as a result of what happened last show.
And again, here we looks like we're going to have our first ole kick of the evening.
And Joe taking the face off of Homicide.
Notice Julius Smokes running for cover.
And Joe has pulled out that fork. Now, I saw Homicide scraping that fork against a brick wall outside the building, sharpening the spokes of it. And Joe's going to use that ghetto fork on Homicide. That's payback for the Generation Next show when Homicide busted open Joe with the fork.
Oh, that's gruesome. That's just gruesome.
This is not a side we normally see from Samoa Joe, but Joe is getting his payback right here.
Well, between being spit on, having the belt spit on, being quadruple teamed, having fire thrown at him, can you blame him, Jimmy?
Not at all, and he has felt that fork too. His skin has been busted open by that fork in the past.
I think CM Punk may be playing possum here. CM Punk may be letting these guys kill each other, and CM Punk hoping he can steal a pin.
Hey, wouldn't you if there was a fork in play, as Homicide is losing a lot of blood in his 100-degree building. Here comes another ole kick. No! CM Punk was playing possum, and he picked his spot, and he scored.
Now CM Punk going after Homicide, because Homicide is the one in the weakened state. He's the one that's lost the blood here. So he ambushes Samoa Joe, lays him out, and hopes he can keep Samoa Joe on the floor long enough to polish off Homicide.
Can CM Punk get that elusive pin on Homicide? Here it is. Hansen with just a 2 count. And there's so much blood loss that we actually have blood on the camera lens.
Look at CM Punk pressing his advantage. Now he's just going to try to choke him out right here on the ropes. And he's going to press that cut. As you press that cut, you're causing the blood to literally spurt out of the forehead. And we talked earlier about what happens when the cut gets into the eyes and the blood gets into the eyes. And we also talked about the fact that since it is a hot night, it actually amplifies the effect of the blood loss, and it makes you lose energy quicker.
Dragon screw by Homicide.
A second dragon screw leg whip by Homicide. And really, that's the thing that makes Homicide so dangerous, is 1 minute he's got a fork, the next minute he's executing textbook technical moves.
Homicide can do it all. He proved that. Many call him ROH's MVP in 2003. One great match after another. The Steve Corino feud. Who will ever forget that? The match against AJ Styles, the Joe matches.
And here comes Samoa Joe. Both men prone, a bad place to be with Samoa Joe on a charge. And now he's going to drop that knee right across the chest of CM Punk after laying out Homicide. And notice Samoa Joe, as soon as he gets the opportunity, goes after Homicide. I think Samoa Joe may be a little myopic in this three-way.
He is peppering Homicide. No, Homicide blocks the clothesline. Oh, turns it into a backdrop driver.
Right onto the shoulder. CM Punk, big kick to the side of the head. Homicide really has been the target in this match, hasn't he?
Well, that's what happens when you raise the ire of those around you. And now what's CM Punk trying to follow up? No, Homicide cuts him off again, takes him to the outside, and they fall through that table at ringside.
Watch where Julius' smoke is. Julius is not going to be shy about getting involved if he thinks he can get away with it.
No doubt about that.
Pile driver through the table.
And there was no giving that. The table was already against the floor.
You're absolutely right.
That's even more dangerous than if the table is elevated.
And I wonder if CM Punk's going to be busted open here.
CM Punk might be a non-factor. If he even gets into the ring, he might be pinned.
Samoa Joe is still down. Homicide, and yep.
This might be between Homicide and Samoa Joe right now.
Well, we saw CM Punk teaming with Colt Cabana against the Briscoes, where CM Punk, in a similar situation, was laid out for an entire fall of a 2 out of 3 fall tag team match.
Death Before Dishonor Part 1, that's what you're talking about. And I'm talking about that sidewalk slam. Cover! 2 count only.
Homicide still bleeding.
Another 2, but Joe trying to turn into the STF.
And he got the fork out again. An STF with the fork prongs first into the forehead.
He's driving the steel right into the open wound of Homicide, ripping the flesh, tearing the skin open.
Even the referee has to protect Homicide.
Joe now, he has those hands clasped, but look at Samoa Joe's hands. They are covered in Homicide's blood.
And that's actually making it hard for him to clasp the hands together because of the blood. Now he's going right into the cut. He's just digging his fingers into the cut.
Joe, he was unable to keep the hold because his hands kept slipping because of the blood.
And now he's just going to try to open up the cut even deeper.
Wow, the blood playing against Samoa Joe there, and Joe is frustrated as a result.
Samoa Joe is a violent man to begin with, but Homicide has made him absolutely vicious.
Homicide trying to kick off Joe. Now he catches Joe. Ace Crusher.
CM Punk back up on the apron.
Punk looking to choose a spot. Springboard dropkick on Homicide. These 3-ways are rare in ROH, and these guys are putting it all on the line. The first fall wins it. Who is the icon of Ring of Honor?
CM Punk may be battling through a concussion here after that pile driver. Samoa Joe catches him.
We saw that at World Title Classic, right down on the knees. And those knees were already fell victim to dragon screws by Homicide. Shining Wizard!
CM Punk lays out Homicide. All three men are down. All three men have absorbed incredible punishment.
Guys, come on, I want to win.
Whoever gets up first might win this one.
Homicide, in addition to getting hit with that Shining Wizard, has been carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey. So, you have CM Punk, who was pile-drived, not through a table, but on a table and already been busted open. Samoa Joe has been absorbed, probably the freshest of the three, but he's also absorbed a lot of punishment. Now you've got all three men battling on pure instinct and willpower. Who can get the shot in? Who can get the shot in without the third man being able to make the save?
And they're doing it all in 100-degree heat. Homicide rolls through. And now, what's this? What's he doing? That's Punk's own version of the DDT. Homicide using Punk's DDT. And now it looks like maybe a lariat. No, Joe catches him. And he uses the Ace Crusher. That's Homicide's move. Punk now dropped toe hold. A series of big knees. And now he's using Samoa Joe's choke on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has held the title for a year and a half using that very hold that CM Punk now has applied on him.
Homicide's recovered. Now he's going to mount the top rope. Come on with a double boot to the back of CM Punk to break up a potential submission. Jimmy, you mentioned it earlier. First man that scores the submission or the pinfall wins the match.
The title is not on the line. It's all about who is the icon of ROH. It's all about pride, and that's what's driving these men under these adverse conditions.
Now CM Punk trying to beat Homicide, trying to set CM Punk up on the ropes. Punk coming up now to the second rope, double underhook by Homicide. Punk trying to fight his way out of it.
Maybe was Homicide going for a Pepsi plunge? We've seen these guys stealing each other's moves. But down goes Punk.
Samoa Joe, huge right hand.
Did you see the sweat go flying off the head of Homicide there?
Sweat and blood. And goes into the eyes. Samoa Joe just so powerful, throws him off.
Homicide going for that swinging DDT, and then Joe lighting him up with that kick.
Now Samoa Joe spits at Julius Smokes. Now Samoa Joe catches CM Punk up on the top rope. Punk trying to fight his way out of a precarious position. Now Samoa Joe comes up to the second ropes to meet CM Punk.
It looks like a superplex attempt here by Joe.
Punk trying to block it. Punk looking for the counter.
He's got him hooked by Pepsi plunge time. He hits it, dangerous! Lariat by Homicide, now puts them all down. The champ's covered. Homicide has been the world champion in this non-title match. But Homicide got the last laugh on Samoa Joe in their final encounter in 2004. Wow. Oh, that has to be devastating to Samoa Joe and CM Punk. And I'm ashamed to say that Homicide is the icon of ROH.
Scramble cage match. Most dangerous match in Ring of Honor. You know, I was in that first Scramble cage match. My partner, Johnny Cashman, you know, Backseat Boys' best tag team. Yeah, that match was pretty dangerous. But we did win. You know, as of late in Ring of Honor, I've been on a roll. And I think I said something about being the best in multi-man matches here in Ring of Honor. I think I've been proving that lately in Milwaukee and Chicago. Now tonight, they say it's even going to be more dangerous. And guess what? I'm riding solo. But I think tonight will definitely prove why I'm the most exciting and the best in these kind of matches. Oh yeah.
What a first half of action here in the Boston area, folks. Colt Cabana, he's on his way to the hospital. Samoa Joe, he got pinned by Homicide. And John Walters just won the Pure Championship right here in his home city of Boston. But folks, they are setting up right now for the most dangerous match you've ever seen, Scramble Cage Melee. And I am joined with the ever so lovely Alex in Danger. Tell me, sweetie, what's your thoughts going into this cage match, baby?
You have no idea how excited. Look at me. I'm shaking. I feel so good tonight. Moth Whitmer, you two wanted that title shot. You can taste that title shot, and I've taken it away from you. Look what you have tonight. Thanks to me, guys. You have the Scramble, Melee, and the cage, and I'm going to sit there at ringside, and I'm going to watch you get beaten, and I'm going to watch you bleed, and I'm going to watch you die, because I will not rest until you two are dead and buried. Oh, that's good.
We know it excites her, folks, don't we? So we got her thoughts. Let's go back to the ring, folks. It's Scramble Cage Melee right here in Boston.
time for the most controversial match, not just in Ring of Honor history, but perhaps professional wrestling history. Scramble Cage Melee. every man for himself. The winner will get 10 times his usual payday. And this is the controversial part, the dangerous part, the risky part. The only way to eliminate someone is to jump on them from one of the platforms on the top of the steel cage. Just by that nature right there, this is one of the most dangerous matches ever to take place in wrestling history. Such high risk. Prince Nana watching on at ringside. He entered Oman, Tortuga, and Diablo Santiago into this match because he doesn't care about their safety. He just wants them to win for the embassy. Allison Danger watching at ringside. She entered Dan Moff and BJ Whitmer in this match. She still owns their contract and wants to make the former Prophecy members' lives miserable. She wants to see them crippled. That's why she put them in this match. Other people were contacted about being in this match, and they turned it down. They did not want to be in a match of such high risk. Others, they want to make a name for themselves like Dunn and Marcos, like the debuting Altar Boy Luke, like Jack Evans, like Fast Eddie, like Trent Acid, who claims he's the king of the multi-person match. So either people are in this match against their will, or they're in this match to make their name at any cost necessary.
Not only that, you're looking at a situation where you've got people that are in this match specifically to be hurt. That's why, as you mentioned, that's why Allison Danger entered Whitmer and Moff into. She is actually rooting for their careers to be ended here.
And that could very well happen in a matchup like this. Marcos whipped in by Moff. Not a lot to call in this match, though. Foot stop there by Marcos. They're not going to take it anymore. Well, he just took that. Acid, half Nelson suplex right into Marcos in the steel mesh.
Well, that's going to slow down two of the faster men in the ring.
A Saito suplex by Luke on Altar Boy Luke. Now, of course, you can't go outside the cage. You can go inside this cage. You can go up to the ceiling. You can go anywhere in this building. But the bottom line is that in order to win this match, you have to leap off one of those platforms onto somebody and eliminate them.
Well, you've got Dan Moff, not known as a high flyer by any stretch of the imagination. Interesting strategy, throwing all the high flyers out of the ring.
Jack Evans, he made his name at the first Scramble cage match. Of course, it didn't have the same rules of this one, but that is where he made the name. No one will ever forget that double moonsault from the top of the cage to the floor. Of course, that show was Main Event Spectacles. That's why Jack Evans is in this one. He claims that he owns the Scramble cage. The Carnage crew claim they own the Scramble cage. They've been in all the Scramble cage matches. This one, though, the first time that this had these rules in place, and most likely the last time.
Well, you would think that these rules would favor the high flyers because they can mount the top of the cage quicker and come off and do more damage from the top of the cage. You would think that Carnage Crew and Moff and Whitmer are at the disadvantage here because they're not known as high flyers.
And there's this action all over the place. This is a very difficult match to call. But we have the two toughest brawling tag teams in ROH alone in the cage right now. Logan DeVito, Moff and Whitmer. The last show, Logan DeVito scored a controversial win over Moff and Whitmer when Allison Danger interfered. Logan DeVito did not see the interference though, but now Moff and Whitmer want to even the score.
Well, and both teams would like to score some type, even if it's just a moral victory in this cage match against the other team. Both teams top contenders for a title shot at the ROH Tag Team Championship.
And of course, Logan DeVito, there can only be one winner. And Logan DeVito, we know about their miserable families, their lousy jobs where they don't get paid much. They'd love nothing more than to make their 10 times their usual pay tonight.
Well, they may be getting 10 times what they're normally paid, but 11 guys here are basically just going to get hurt. And that's what's happening here. If you weigh the odds, the odds of getting hurt versus the odds of getting 10 times your pay, that's still not a very good bargain.
It's like being in a lottery as you see bodies flying on the outside into the cage, and DeVito is busted open. And Luke got double shoulder block, and he is busted open as well. Moff and Whitmer getting a measure of revenge for that loss they suffered at the last shows to the Carnage crew.
Well, Jimmy, we've been focusing a lot about coming off the top of the cage and the damage that you can do from taking some of these ridiculous moves from off the top of the cage. it almost takes away from the fact that this is a cage match, and all the damage that you can normally do in a cage without coming off the top is in place as well.
That's true. A cage match is normally dangerous enough as it is, as that steel mesh will just rip your flesh open, as we've seen with Luke and DeVito. And now you add the high-risk, high-flying daredevil factor. And there's Oman Tortuga whipped in by Marcos. And Luke just suplexed into the cage. And Whitmer, though, Northern Lights into the corner, and Allison Danger's loving it. The delusional, the psychotic Allison Danger. She's gonna let Moff and Whitmer go.
Never let women know where you live.
And there you see Marco still battling with Oman on the outside. Chaos all over the ringside area.
Well, it's interesting that the cage door is open because teams are going to be encouraged to go to the floor so they can come to the top of the cage. And look at the big man! Look at
DeVito! What's he gonna do, Mark? He came off one of the platforms at the last Scramble cage match at At Our Best. And the big man just did it again, and he eliminated Moff and Whitmer in the process.
And not only does he come off the top of the platform, he comes off the top of the platform with a moonsault.
And once again, Luke and DeVito get the one-up on Moff and Whitmer, and DeVito loves it.
Keep this in mind the next time ROH announces who's the top contenders for the Tag Team Championship and who gets a title shot.
Well, I mean, it is every man for himself, but that is a good point. And Moff and Whitmer, though, they are irate as they are still taking it to Luke and DeVito. The brawl is continuing between two of ROH's toughest tag teams. And now we got a steel chair in play.
The Carnage crew may have won that battle, but they certainly don't look like they've won anything.
Well, the war is continuing between Moff and Whitmer and the Carnage crew. In fact, it's heating up. Moff and Whitmer not going to the back. They're dishing out the punishment on Luke and DeVito.
If anybody has extra pressure here, it's Trent Acid, who's just been put into the ring by Fast Eddie. Trent Acid claims to be the master of the multi-purpose match.
Person, you mean? I'm sorry. But there goes Fast Eddie. He's in there with Trent. It's too hard to call, Mark.
And again, the cage being used as a weapon. Now Dunn and Mark is going to come into the ring. You would think that the smaller guys, like the Dunn and the Marcoses, might have an advantage here. Look at the double team move by Dunn and Marcos. I guess they don't want to be called the Ring Crew Express anymore.
Well, they're not going to take it anymore. They're proving it there.
The Outcast Killers make their way back into the ring. Dunn and Marcos there to meet them. And the Outcast Killers take control of the center of the ring.
Outcast Killers looking impressive, and look at this, the brawl continuing with the Carnage crew and Moff and Whitmer.
Now the Carnage crew are still alive in this match. At some point, Moff and Whitmer are going to have to go back to the locker room.
And now Altar Boy Luke in there, he takes Diablo down. Oman trying to climb up, much to the origin of Prince Nana. Oh, and Diablo gets spiked on his head. And Jack Evans plants Oman with a very original move. Altar Boy Luke, he wants to make his name in ROH, and he's willing to risk his career to do it. Nice spin kick right there. Takes Evans off his feet and spins him around. And Altar Boy Luke is looking to eliminate somebody right now.
Altar Boy Luke has a reputation around the country as being a daredevil.
He's looking around. And a beautiful swanton takes out Luke and DeVito, Moff and Whitmer. Moff and Whitmer already eliminated, but that just eliminated Luke and DeVito.
I can't believe he came off the cage all the way to the floor. It's dangerous enough to come off that platform into the ring. But to go all the way to the floor, you mentioned Altar Boy Luke wanted to make a name for himself. That's insanity.
You saw him looking around on the top of the platform, and he chose to go to the floor. And Luke and DeVito can attribute this loss to Moff and Whitmer.
And boy, Luke, I don't even know how he's still moving.
Fast Eddie takes down Diablo. And the fight's continuing between Moff, Whitmer, Luke, and DeVito. And that issue's definitely heating up. Moff and Whitmer causing Luke and DeVito to be eliminated by Ultra Boy Luke. Luke and DeVito busted open. Oh, and Fast Eddie just got throat first across the top rope there. And there's that senton by Marcos.
Dunn and Marcos. What an opportunity this would be for them. Now Marcos looks like he's going to go to the platform.
Dunn's going up too. This could be a stage dive. We've seen him do this from the top rope to the floor, but never like this. And oh, Fast Eddie's cutting off Marcos though. Luke taking down Tortuga. And
now Dunn having second thoughts.
Well, I think he's just looking for someone to dive on maybe. And right now Fast Eddie and Marcos are battling on one of the platforms. That's not where you want to fight somebody. And what's Dunn doing? No one home on the elbow from the top of the cage. And Dunn might not be able to continue.
The Outcast Killers.
Oh my God! What's Marcos? Marcos is trying to superplex Eddie off. Oh, this is exactly what I feared. We knew we were going to see injuries. What's Eddie doing? Did a fall-away slam on Marcos from the top of the cage on everybody, and I think that eliminated the Outcast Killers. Dunn and Marcos have been eliminated, and Ultra Boy Luke was, and Marcos was, because Eddie landed on Marcos on that fall-away slam.
But Eddie, look at Eddie, he's clutching that ankle. Fast Eddie, in excruciating pain, grabbing at that right ankle.
And Prince Nana, look at him. He's irate that Diablo and Oman are eliminated. He doesn't care that they might have been hurt.
One move by Fast Eddie, and he takes out half this match.
And he might have just ended his career in the process.
Older boy Luke being escorted out.
Jack Evans and Trent Acid are the only two men remaining in this match. And Eddie just clutching at that ankle. I mean, it's so dangerous. That's why ROH officials kind of regretted having this match.
Now the referees are diving to Fast Eddie, trying to keep Fast Eddie safe here. And it looks like they're going to try to get Fast Eddie out of the ring, Jimmy.
It's not eliminated, however, he is unable to continue in this match.
Fast Eddie can't continue. That's such a shame. You hear this crowd supporting Fast Eddie. He put it all on the line and he paid the price.
I hope that ankle's not broken.
We saw Colt Cabana already injured tonight. In fact, he sacrificed his own body on that same moonsault to take out Generation Next. He's on the way to the hospital and looks like Fast Eddie might be next in line.
Trent Acid with a noticeable limp, trying to rally the crowd against Jack Evans.
Trent Acid did hurt his ankle in that Samoa Joe match, was unable to continue, and that was the very last show, and that ankle is probably bothering him again. Jack Evans, is he the man in the scramble cage? Trent Acid, is he the king of the multiverse of matches? A quick exchange, and Jack Evans gets the one-up on it.
Well, thanks to Fast Eddie, this is no longer a multi-person match.
And there's has a boot, and Acid levels Jack Evans.
I still can't get over what I just saw.
You know what? This means that what's Trent Acid going to do? A dive from the top of the cage just on to Jack Evans?
Yeah, that's all he needs to do to win it by now.
But that's so dangerous.
But if there's pressure on anybody in this match, and I think it's on Trent Acid.
A reverse Hurricanrana, and Jack Evans might be out. Trent Acid, though, that ankle is in bad shape. He comes up limping.
Trent Acid, well, I thought Jack Evans landed right on his head. If I was Trent Acid, I think I'd try to finish this now. But Trent Acid wants to continue.
Oh, Jack Evans slams Acid down and saves himself.
Jack Evans playing possum.
Can Jack Evans score the win for Generation Next in this main event? You see the bandage wrapped around his arm. Acid catches him. And what an atmosphere in this building. Yakuza kick by Trent Acid.
Trent Acid needs to climb the cage while he still has some feeling in that ankle.
You have to be here live to experience something like this. Acid spikes Evans right on his head. Cover's not going to do him any good here.
I think he's just putting him in position for a dive. I don't think he was planning on covering him.
I don't know if I can watch this, Mark.
I don't know how he's going to get to that platform with that ankle. That cage is hard enough to maneuver as it is when you're completely healthy.
What happens if both men are so incapacitated that they can't make it to the top of the cage? Because I don't think that Jack Evans is getting up. And Trent Acid might not be able to climb up there.
Trent Acid, you can tell every move just so incredibly painful, but he's giving Jack Evans a lot of time to recover. Now Evans, who is probably the better of the two as far as being able to fly, Evans one of the best flyers in professional wrestling, now comes up to the top rope, bracing himself with the cage, and again, working, taking some shots at the extremities of Acid. Evans and Acid both up on the platform.
I can't even watch this.
This is a train wreck.
Oh my God. Neither man's going to get up from that. Hold on, where's Jack Evans getting this from?
I don't know Trent Acid. While he's moving, I think Trent Acid is conscious. You can't know where he is.
Jack Evans is ripping off that Band-Aid, that deep cut on his arm from earlier. He caught it on the edge of that guardrail sign before. Jack Evans using his last ounce of strength to go up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trent Acid has been eliminated. The winner of the Scramble Cage Melee,
Evans is the winner. The referees all rush into the ring and checking on both Evans and Acid.
That was the most unbelievable spectacle I've ever seen. But what was the price? Neither man is moving. Cut the music. Turn on the house lights here. We got a situation on our hands. Oh, we knew that this was not gonna. We knew there were gonna be casualties in this match. We saw Fast Eddie go down. We saw Logan DeVito busted open. Trent Acid might have had his ribs crushed, and Jack Evans isn't moving. We knew this was a dangerous match. I don't think we'll ever see a Scramble Cage melee again with these rules.
I just hope we see Trent Acid and Jack Evans.
kill the mood here, but I mean, both these guys are hurt.
This is getting serious. I still haven't seen Jack Evans move.
All right, Mark, we're going to let the camera fall off. We're going to get out of here. Mark Nulty, I'm Jimmy Bauer. Thank you for purchasing this home release. We're trying to empty the building right now. Like, real quick, RHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500. Merchandise, you got coming events. Nick Crowley coming to ROH. Yushin Liger coming to ROH. Shows in Dayton, Chicago, Elizabeth, New Jersey, Boston again, Philadelphia. But I almost feel shallow. Luggage stuff now. Doc. Bodies right now. You guys gave their heart and soul to this match, to this promotion, and they're both paid in place right now. Thanks for coming to check it out. Alright, well, Mark Nulty, I'm Jimmy Bauer. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you at Glory by Honor 3.
Okay, yeah, let's try to sit him up.
Izzy, you did so great tonight. You should be a champion again. What is wrong with you hanging out with these losers? It's not your fault you guys lost.
Excuse me, wait a second. Who the hell are you? You come in here out of nowhere, you're running your mouth, you little bitch.
Who am I?
How do you think
Who
you
am I?
Yeah,
Why did you ask him who I am, baby?
Who is this girl? I've never seen her before. Who is she? I'm the only girl in Special K. Okay.
No.
So who is she? She's the blonde cutie? Who the hell is she? I'm asking you a question. Who is this girl? All right. Who is she?
We're out of here. Who's coming with us? Huh?
Who is coming with you? Who? Not me.
Cheech and Cloudy are gonna go.
Let's go. Come.
Are you serious?
Sorry, guys.
You're gonna go with them? What?
What is this all about?
Whatever. We don't need them.
Look at it.
We don't need them.
You know, I've been in a lot of wrestling buildings before, and I've seen this happening. I've seen the breakdown of the ring. I've seen the guys saying goodbye, but never has it felt this satisfying to leave the building. That's because John Walters is the new pure champion. Finally, I have a title around my waist. I have a championship to call my own. The fans said I couldn't do it. Ring of Honor didn't think I could do it, but I did it. And this belt will become just as prestigious as the world title. Mark my words. Now, Samoa Joe, tonight you decided to get in my business, and you decided to get in Doug Williams' business. Well, I understand that I get to choose your opponent for September 11th, Joe, and I think it would be unfair to leave Doug Williams out of the equation. So, Samoa Joe, on September 11th, your challenger for the Ring of Honor World title is Doug Williams. And Joe, you can pick anybody in the locker room. You can pick the best wrestler. You can pick the biggest wrestler. It doesn't matter, because this belt belongs to me. I'm not going to hide behind it. I will face anybody, anytime. I will raise the prestige of this title. And Samoa Joe, this is just the beginning of the blossoming career of the new Ring of Honor pure champion, John Walters.